And welcome to the Tigers post game on the Michigan Sports Truth podcast for June 16th, 2022 on a Thursday. I'm Taylor Phillips along with Louis Tenor.
Hey there.
Man, long time national sports reporter on our show. Louis,
Yes.
it's been months, maybe a year or two.
About a year.
Yeah, it's about a year, all right.
Yeah, it's nice to be back though.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So the Texas Rangers beat the Detroit Tigers 3-1. Beau Brieske lasted 7 scoreless innings. He let's dig it up here. He only gave up 3 hits, only walked 2, struck out 6. His ERA is down to 3.79.
Huh.
When he first made his major league debut earlier this season, he fell flat, but as of late he has come on very strong. Yeah. Beau Brieske right now has a 3.79 ERA, and
decent.
What's his whip? 121. A 121 whip. Walks, hits per innings pitched.
Yes. What was the ERA before that though? I mean, because you say he had a rocky start.
Oh man, it must have been around 9 or 10 or something like that.
Wow.
Tell
Ugly
me about
as
it.
sin. Whoa.
Yeah. Yep. Now there's June. Tyler Alexander had an 8.76 ERA before he went on the injured list. 2 days ago, gave up a run on 3 hits in 2 innings pitched. His ERA is still up to 8.16. Yeah, he still sucks. He cannot even pitch in the major leagues, even as a relief pitcher. Tyler Alexander. Thank God he didn't pitch tonight. Yeah. And Elvin Rodriguez. This is the guy we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
Faito got roughed up. That's not it. Elvin Rodriguez. No, that's Ronnie Garcia. That was Friday night. Last Friday night. That was last week Friday. Elvin Rodriguez, his ERA is 11.51.
Oh. Yeah, what are you getting? These terrible pitchers.
I mean, there are injuries, but seriously, their offense stinks, and now you get this crap. Elvin Rodriguez last week Friday lasted 4 1/3 innings, gave up 8 runs, all of them earned on 8 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. He gave up 3 home runs. Yeah, try him as a relief pitcher then. He's still been a starter. No shrimp, Sherlock.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, and then back to tonight's game. Lots of got five hitters that are hitting below 200. Javier Baez 190 after going 1 for 4. Robbie Grossman in left field hitting 195 after going 0 for 3 with an RBI sacrifice fly and 2 strikeouts.
I see.
Jonathan Scope 191 after going 1 for 4. Eric Haas also 191 after going 2 for 4. Spencer Torkelson 181 after going 1 for 3 with a walk. I know it's Torkelson's rookie year, so I'll let that go. But seriously, Harold Castro, he's still hitting 293, but he went over 3 tonight. No strikeouts, left 2 men on base. Tigers mustered 8 hits. Texas only 4. Victor Reyes went 0 for 4, but he's hitting 311. He hit almost 400. He hit almost 400 after Wynn coming not after, but Wynn coming off the injured list. Gregory Soto pitched like shit and earned his second blown save and dropped to 2-4. 3 earned runs on 1 hit, a 3-run fucking double by Ezekiel Duran. Two walks by Soto and 2 strikeouts. Soto's ERA is still 300 sharp, but tonight was a rough outing for Soto. Obviously, he's been pitching better than tonight than he did. He's been pitching better than tonight prior to tonight. Michael Fulmer, only a walk and a strikeout, 225 average. So the Tigers dropped to 24-39. Texas Rangers 30-33, close to the 500 mark. The Texas Rangers. Tigers 12 games back in the AL Central, 4th place, still in 4th place. The Kansas City Royals 21-41. Tigers and Royals are kind of neck and neck for that last place spot in the American League Central Division standings. Texas Rangers 2nd place in the AL West, 30-33. 9 games back at the Houston Astros at 39-24. Texas Rangers are there are 3 playoff wildcard spots, but the Texas Rangers are 4 games back of the 3rd AL wildcard spot. The Cleveland Guardians, 32-27, hold that 3rd wildcard spot. So the Tigers, Tarek Skubal. I was going to mention him. Tarek Skubal has got company. Beau Brieske has also been pitching lights out, but yeah, Tarek Skubal. His last outing was rough, but I know he's better than that too. Skubal is 5-3 with a 2.71 ERA. John Gray takes the mound for Texas tomorrow. 1-3 record, 4.85 ERA, and a 1.27 WHIP. So whatever the over/under is for tomorrow, I'd take the under because the Tigers' offense stinks, and Tarek Skubal can still pitch lights out despite his last rough outing, his rough previous outing. So, yeah, hopefully everyone took the under in tonight's game too. Tonight's game as well. So, So that is all I have for Tigers. So, hey, we got the NBA Finals going on, Lewis, and then we got more baseball.
Yes, we do.
Also, we got the Stanley Cup Final. Don't forget. So, Lewis, so why don't you tell us what's going on in the rest of the sports world with your national sports report? Go right ahead.
All right. Well, first, of course, we are going into the later stage of the third quarter right now, and what it looked like Boston was going to do was just start to be a runaway for them is now turning into a runaway the other way for the Warriors, as they're now up 3-2 in the 3-2 in the series. At last check, it was 72-55 in the Warriors' favor. Just like a quick update on that. As we now start the fourth quarter, it is now third quarter, 2 minutes to go, 74-62, but the Warriors are still leading, and they lead the series 3-2. So if they win tonight, goodbye, Boston. And you guys were so sure that Boston was going to win. I'll give you one thing, though. I had them as a dark horse pick to go to the final, but I think the Warriors were going to win it. So my predictions have been correct. Aha. Okay, on to the baseball scene. Right now, it's scoreless in the bottom of the second inning with the Angels and the Mariners. Runner on first, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on. Ohtani is pitching, and Moore is at bat. Show me the money, Ohtani. All the rest are final. The A's over the Red Sox, 4-3. Sorry. Blackburn got the win. Hill got the loss, and Ramirez got the save. Padres over the hapless Cubs, 6-4. Musgrove got the win. Swammer got the loss, and Rogers got the save. Oilers, the Oilers won a game. In the Battle of the Birds, Oilers beat the Blue Jays 10-2. Wells got the win, and Gaspin got the loss. Doesn't say who got the save, though. Okay. Want to play hardball, huh? All right. The Guardians, or as I like to call them, the Gargoyles, beat the Rockies 4-2. Just a little joke, folks. McKenzie got the win. Kroll got the save, and got the loss, and Class A got the save. Phillies over the Nationals, 10-1. Wheeler, that's Zach Wheeler, got the win, and Colburn got the loss. Moving forward, Yankees got a last-second win over the Rays, 2-1 on a home run by Anthony Rizzo. Thank you very much. King got the win, and Armstrong got the loss. Aw. Yeah, I saw that when it was happening. All right, this is just gone final. The Mets over the Brewers, 5-4. Smith got the win. Sewer got the loss, and Diaz got the save. As we mentioned, Rangers over the Tigers, 3-1. Santana got the win. Sato got the loss, and Marlowe got the save. And, short night in baseball, as sometimes Thursday usually is. Okay. Yeah, I keep forgetting. Sometimes Mondays and Thursdays you don't get a complete night. Up 74-65 right now as we head into the later stage of the third quarter. So right now we'll take a look at the standings over here. We'll do the standings first. We'll do the standings, and then we'll do the schedule, as of course things do change on Monday and Thursday. All right, 74-65. Okay, so the standings go like this. Yankees, 47-16, have a 10-game lead over the Blue Jays at 37-26. Those still respectable. The Rays, 35-28, 12 back. The Red Sox, 34-30. 34-30, 14.5 back. And the hapless Orioles, 28-47 at 20 back. Oh, what a shock. Not surprised anybody is. All right, over to the Central. The Twins, 37-28. They have a 2-game lead over the Guardians at 32-27. Also, at 5 back are the White Sox at 30-31. Tigers, 24-39. 13 back, and 14.5 back. The Royals, 21-41. Boy, I remember when they were good. In the West, Astros, 39-24, have a 9-game lead over the Rangers, 30-33. Angels, 10.5 back at 29-35. The Mariners are 28-35 at 11 back, and 18 back bring up the rear. The A's 22-43. They're not in just trouble on the field. They could be in trouble off the field as well. I'll explain that in a little bit. Over to the National League, the Mets 42-23. But look out, here come the Braves. Only 4.5 back at 37-27 and won 13 in a row at last check. Holy mackerel. Also on the move, the Phillies 33-31, 6.5 back. Things have turned around since they fired Joe Girardi. Come back to the Yankees. The Fish, a.k.a. the Marlins, are 28-33 at 12 back. And the Nationals, 23-43 at 19.5 back. Okay. Over to the Central. The Cardinals are 37-28. Have a 2-game lead over the Brewers at 35-30. The Pirates, 25-37, 10.5 back. Perennial losers that they are. The Cubs, 23-40, 13 back. Oh, boy. And at 13 back as well, the Reds, 23-40 as well. Ugh, what a shame. And finally in the West, well, look at this. I don't believe it. This is not an error, folks. The Padres, that's right, I said the Padres are 41-24, have a half-game lead with the Dodgers at 39-23. I don't believe it. 4.5 back of the Giants at 35-27. The D-backs, respectively, 36-35, 11 back. And the Rockies, who are probably on a Rocky Mountain low at 27-37, 13.5 back. I can't believe the Padres are in first place. This is probably their best season since 1998, when they went to the World Series and lost to the Yankees in a sweep. Too bad. All right, over to tomorrow's schedule. As we go over here, I still can't believe it. All right, so here we go for tomorrow on the June 17th. The Phillies will face the Nationals at 1:05. By the way, tomorrow's a doubleheader. The Braves will take on the Cubs at 2:20. The Rays take on the Orioles at 6:05 start time. The Brewers will take on the Reds at 6:40. Game 2 between the Phillies and Nationals at 7:05. The Giants and the Pirates also at 7:05. 7:07, the Yankees take on the Blue Jays. 7:10, the Marlins take on the Mets. Also 7:10 are the Cardinals versus the Red Sox. The Rangers versus the Tigers. 8:10, the White Sox versus the Astros. The Padres take on the Rockies at 8:40. 9:40, the Royals take on the A's. Also at 9:40, the Twins take on the D-backs. And 10:10, the Angels take on the Mariners. And the Guardians take on the Dodgers. All right, so much for that. Okay, so on to the headlines today. Away we go. All right, so to start off with, I'll start at the top of the page. If you're a Phil Mickelson fan, well, I got bad news for you, as he's off to a rough start in the U.S. Open as it begins day one, and is at a miserable, pathetic 145th place out of 154 golfers in the event. Ugh, boy. In 36 holes, as he will have probably a 99% chance of not making the cut after tomorrow. Ugh. This is his first event since January at the Farmers Insurance Open. We did not make the cut that as well. He declined to speak to reporters after walking off the course, probably in embarrassment. Well, who can blame him? And today, for keeping track, was his 52nd birthday. Well, this proved to be an unhappy birthday for him as well. Oh, boy. It's just, All right. Any soccer fans out there? I got some news for you. FIFA has announced its 16 North American cities for the 2026 World Cup. 11 venues in the U.S., 3 in Mexico, and 2 in Canada. The 2026 World Cup will be the first to expand to 48 teams in competition. The cities are as follows: New York, New Jersey at MetLife Stadium, my area. SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. AT&T Stadium in Dallas, home of the Cowboys. Levi Stadium in San Francisco, the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Lumen Field in Seattle, NRG Stadium in Houston, Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, and Gillette Stadium in Boston. In Canada, there'll be two matches, two sites rather, one in Toronto and one in Vancouver. The three matches in Mexico are Guadalajara, Monterrey, and Mexico City. The first 60 matches will be played in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. 60 will play in the U.S., and Canada and Mexico will get 10 each. Now, once the knockout stages begin, all games will be played in the U.S. And incidentally, the home of the 94 World Cup where they had the final, that has been replaced by SoFi Stadium. Yeah, come on, it's the same area, though. No big change. That was at the Rose Bowl where Italy lost to Brazil in a shootout. Okay. I don't think I'll be reminded about that. Ugh. All right. Some encouraging news here from the hockey world. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman, who I still can't stand, said the league generated over $5.2 billion over this past season in revenue. Go figure that out. Holding court with Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly before the start of last night's Game 1 of the finals, Bettman praised the league and its partners for completing the first full season in 2 years that provide a much stable recovery, which was so badly needed. No kidding. What we did was continue to operate. We did the fundamentals of our business, said by the commissioner. We had a major increase in our media revenues in the States. Our buildings are returning to pre-pandemic levels as the first two rounds of the playoffs generate 88%, although that number might be even higher. We continue to play even during most difficult times. We were able to stabilize the business and power through. Bettman says that he continues for the league to grow more next season. He revealed that October 11th will be the start date for next season, and the full schedule should be released at some point next month, probably around mid-July. That's customary. Moving down, all right. Coming off a loss against the Avalanche last night, Lightning coach John Cooper said the best team won, but believes that the Avalanche have not seen anything close to their best players yet. Give him credit after pulling out the OT win last night, which lasted only 83 seconds, and I missed it. We have better in us. I don't think we played our best last night, and we still have a chance to win. But to be a talented team like the Avalanche, we'll have to do better than that. No fooling. The Lightning got off to a rough start in the first as they gave up two quick goals, a minute and just 36 seconds apart. In the second period, moving on, all right. Lightning forward Nick Paul cut the lead in half, but tripping calls by Minka Sherbeck and Anthony Cirelli, only 27 seconds apart, handed the Avalanche a power play by 3. Opportunity Avalanche center Tori Linkonen scored a 3-1. Actually, Nick Paul could lead 2-1 before the first half, before the Avalanche was able to score again. However, in period number 2, the Lightning stormed back with 2 goals to tie the game, with goals by winger Nikita Kucherov and line mate Ordari Palat to tie the game at 3 apiece. There was no score in the third period. The Avalanche, though, did go on to win the game with 83 seconds in overtime for the win. Game 2, Saturday night. I have an encouraging story here that will also be used on my show on Saturday. More on that. I'll mention that later. After wrapping up a long shift as a firefighter in Toledo, Ohio, over the weekend, Miles Copeland went to New York to play a playoff road game for the Jamestown Jackals. That is in the in a semi-pro league called the Basketball League. I believe it's a semi-pro league. But then as his sides cleared near the end of the first quarter, when a referee, John Sully, had passed out on the court and was not responding. It happened across the Toledo bench. Within an instant, Copeland sprung into action. He checked for his vital signs, but not get a pulse, and was not breathing. So Copeland began CPR until the paramedics arrived. Oof. His quick response saved Sully's life. He is scheduled to undergo heart surgery to fix a blockage that caused him to pass out. But if all goes well, he should be back refereeing next season. Wow. After the heroic efforts, Toledo rallied to win Saturday's game and escape elimination, followed by another win Sunday and advanced to the semifinals as that's being played tonight in Indiana. The Basketball League plans to honor Copeland for his life-saving efforts ahead of the game. And like I said, I believe this is a semi-pro league that probably 98% of even basketball fans like me don't know about. So getting back to the Avalanche, they took Game 1 in the Stanley Cup on a call by Andrei Bobrovsky 83 seconds into the OT period. Bobrovsky is one of only two players on the roster to have won a Stanley Cup, along with Darren Helm, who won with the Capitals back in 2018. The experience has not lessened the excitement to be back competing for a title or make an impact. Bobrovsky knew going into Game 1 that he would have expanded role and played 12 and a half minutes on a special teams laden matchup. Nazem Kadri was still out with a broken thumb that he suffered in the series against the Oilers, in the same series where Bobrovsky blocked a shot off his left leg and was forced to miss games 2 and 3. Oh boy. He did return for Game 4. He replaced Kadri on the second line. Bobrovsky said earlier in the week that he now felt close. He did not feel close to return, but it was a good sign for the series ahead. 82-70 right now. Okay. It helped that the Avalanche had 8 days off in between series as they swept the Oilers and played for the first time last night. After jumping to 3-1, the Lightning quickly scored 2 goals to tie the game. Regulation ended in a 3-3 tie, but Bobrovsky scored the winning goal. I'm sorry I missed it. Yeah, dirty, no good. Well, you get the point. Moving on. The Dallas Mavericks acquired Christian Wood from the Rockets in exchange for the 26th draft pick in next week's draft. Actually, about 10 days from now. The Mavericks will send Oven Bogdanovic, Marquise Chris, Terry Burke, and Sterling Brown to the Rockets. They're creating flexibility and adding a productive big man to the lineup. Wood averaged 19.1 points per game and 9.9 rebounds in 2 seasons with the Rockets, and is due to make $14.3 million next season in the final year of this deal.
Oh, I thought it was Boban Marjanovic. That was
Go figure that out. Passing, Scotty Scheffler. Fresh off his win at the Canadian Open last week, McIlroy climbed to the top ahead of Scheffler as the odds-on favorite in all the major sports books. McIlroy is a 10-1 favorite, followed by Justin Thomas at 11-1, Scheffler at 12-1, and John Ram at 14-1. McIlroy moved up from 14-1 to 10-1 odds this week alone. The largest bet reported was at Caesars for $5,000 on McIlroy. Oh boy, which was placed on Monday. Which was placed and Nevada, which placed Nevada last week. Okay. A rather disturbing story here. A Phoenix Suns employee registered resigned from the team last month after alleging that she became the bullying by superiors and raising concerns about gender equality and misconduct with the organization. The woman, Melissa Fender, who began working with the Suns back in 2007, sent an email of resignation on May 20th to 16 members of the ownership group that include majority owner Robert Sabar, challenging them to address what she called a toxic waste dump, rather a toxic workplace culture. Well, pretty much the same thing. Her resignation came amid the league's investigation into Sabar and the Suns' workplace that began in November after ESPN published a story detailing allegations of racism, a hostile, toxic workplace during his time as the majority owner. Saver, of course, declined most of the allegations in the reporting. Well, that's a surprise. Ugh. Yeah, of course. World Cup action. New Zealand, Costa Rica beat New Zealand to earn the final World Cup spot in a 1-0 victory. Joel Campbell, the former striker from Arsenal, scored 3 minutes into the game and squeezed between two defenders to touch a square pass from Jewison Burnett, as the defense of New Zealand did not react quick enough to stop it. Costa Rica will now play in Group E, or as we say now, the Group of Death, between Germany, Spain, and Japan. That's going to be rough. I mean, I don't think I like the sound of that. Okay.
A challenging schedule.
One word on this page. New Orleans Pelicans center Jackson Hayes was sentenced to 3 years probation and 450 hours of community service and a year of domestic violence classes after a scuffle with police officers responding to a domestic violence call last year. The sentence came after Hayes pleaded no contest to misdemeanor counts of false imprisonment and resisting arrest from an officer back in February. Hayes was also ordered to pay a yet-to-be-determined restitution set by Los Angeles. Okay. By Los Angeles City Attorney's Office spokesman Rob Wilcox. Hayes was arrested on July 28th of last year when police responded to a domestic violence call at 3 a.m. Hayes was selected in the 2019 draft out of Texas. 3 a.m. Can't you people ever go to bed? Ugh. I mean, really. And right now, 84-75, the Warriors leading the Celtics. Okay. Guys, I hate to tell you, but I think it's gonna be the Warriors winning the championship. Okay, onward we go. All right. Sorry about that, folks. That's just a little. And there we are. Warriors versus Celtics in good old fashion. Okay.
I think it's your speakers, by the way.
And like I said, there's only one game left in the Major League Baseball series tonight. And of course, there's also the final week of the USFL season that is going to be played this weekend. Oh boy. I don't know about you, but I don't think it's going to last a second season. I mean, nobody goes to their games. Hardly anybody's watching them on TV, first of all. So I don't see how much this league is going to survive. I mean, if you ask me, it's too much of a gimmick and to try to revive, spring football. And, and next year the XFL was supposed to resume. But, you failed twice. I mean, why would you even think of doing it a third time? What do you have left to prove by that? I mean, nobody can compete with the NFL. I mean, you tried and failed before, and it just simply doesn't work. It just simply doesn't work. I mean, I have nothing against football in the spring. I mean, I think it makes, a great alternative to baseball, especially your team is not winning. Oh, by the way, speaking of baseball, the commissioner, Rob Manfred, said that he is concentrating on Tampa Bay and Oakland to try and get new stadiums, but his main focus is on Tampa Bay. As most of you know, I think that Tampa Bay did try to get a request to have half the season being played in Tampa and half the season being played in Montreal, but MLB rejected the idea, which is pretty stupid if you ask me, because, from an economical standpoint, how is that going to save, your team anyway? You got to play half your so-called home games 1,000 miles away from home. So that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Oakland has, I think, a better chance of staying, even though their lease is up in another couple of years, but the mayor is trying to work out more details in keeping it. As for Tampa Bay, they have one of the worst. Actually, Oakland has the worst in the league. They only have like 8,700 in attendance. Well, Tampa Bay is not much better at 25th. But, that dumpy area there doesn't look like it's going to be able to hold. And their lease expires in 2027, if I'm not mistaken. And, of course, they're ahead of, though, the Marlins and Guardians, and I think the Orioles, too. Ugh.
The bottom dweller basement of the league of Major League Baseball, folks.
Once upon a time, of course, I know how bad your baseball teams were. You still drew a crowd, but these days, with you have that, you just can't seem to draw a decent crowd anymore. All right, so just a few more items here, and then we'll wrap it up. Right now, we got timeout on the court.
They're showing the replays. They're probably like at least.
By the way,
under 4 minutes. Under 4 minutes to go.
Sue Bird is going to be calling it quits after this season. She was going to call it quits last season, but decided.
Can you hear me?
She signed a 1-year contract with the Seattle Storm, which she's played her entire career. Decided to stay for 1 more year, but this is going to be her final year. And what a career she's had! 2 NCAA titles with UConn. She's had 4 titles with the Seattle Storm, and she's also had 5 Olympic gold medals.
Wow!
You heard me right. 5 gold medals. 5 gold medals. 5 gold medals. Oh no. Okay. All right. Jadeveon Clowney admitted today he decided to re-sign with the Cleveland Browns once he knew that Deshaun Watson was heading there. Okay. Couple lives on. I thought I played well here last year. I felt I could play better and pick up where I left off from last season, said the defensive end when he's listing his reasons for returning to the Browns. Clowney was coming off a breakout season last year with the Browns after signing a 1-year deal last season with the Browns, or as I can call them, the Clowns. Playing opposite Myles Garrett, Clowney finished with 9 sacks. Both Garrett and Clowney finished in the top 4 in the pass rush rate. This is their second go-around together. Clowney and Watson previously played together on the Houston Texans. Well. Boston College lineman Christian Mahogany, a prospect for 2023, is going to have to miss this upcoming season as he suffered an ACL tear while working out in my home state of New Jersey. Oh, thanks a lot. Giving New Jersey a bad name. Okay. Mahogany, a redshirt junior guard, without question, the top prospect. He has earned several postseason honors in the ACC for 2022. He is the number 2 guard prospect for the 2023 draft. He had his knee surgically repaired on May 27th by New York Giants Dr. Scott Rodeo at the hospital for special surgery in New York. The general timeline for an ACL recovery is usually 6 to 9 months, but he expects to be ready for 2023. 6 to 9 months, more like 6 to 9 years, if you ask me. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes said he was surprised by comments made by Tyreek Hill on a recent podcast that were somewhat critical of him and the Chiefs. Mahomes said he was surprised just a little bit because I felt that he loved Tyreek here. Mahomes said the Chiefs finished their offseason program. We've always loved him, and we still do. I saw him in a Formula One race, and I'm sure he had something to do with his podcast and stuff, getting it going, like I felt 6 years ago. His surge is suggested. He also just recently suggested on the Needs to Be Said podcast that, among other things, the Chiefs and Mahomes may struggle without him, and he was underused last season. Hill led the Chiefs with a career high of 111 catches last season. Not too shabby. MLB approved the sale of a minority stake in the Guardians to David Blitzer, who also has ownership stakes in the Sixers and the Devils. Blitzer has a 25 to 30% ownership and will have opportunity to increase his stake to the controlling interest in the next several years. Commissioner Manfred approved the sale at the conclusion of the annual 3-day owners meeting in New York today. I thought it was a little bit early for that. Manfred did not discuss no other details, and the Guardians had no comment. What do you think from Manfred? He's an idiot anyway. And I mean an idiot.
Sorry, I'm testing the microphone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Awesome. Perfect.
Yes. Yeah, Manfred's a bum.
He is.
And yet they resolved the lockout anyway. I don't know how, but they did. All right,
Wow.
so getting back.
Lucky.
Yeah, lucky. I think there's a ploy in that. So to reiterate about the situation with the Rays and the A's, they are in new ballparks and open the possibility of relocation if deals are not reached soon. This is an urgency with respect to the Rays, Manfred said today during a news conference. There needs to be a solution and a solution soon. As I said, the Rays in January said the MLB rejected the proposal to have their games between Montreal and Tampa. Asked about considering relocating, Manfred said, "My focus is on Tampa now," and later adding that he was referring to the Tampa region and not a Pacific side by the Bay. Okay. The A's have proposed a new ballpark at the Howard Terminal and is working with the mayor of the city to get approval. The A's have been in Oakland since 1968, since coming over from Philadelphia. Oakland has the worst attendance in the league, averaging 8,523 fans. The Rays, not much better. They're 25th at 13,740. Also have the Marlins, the Guardians, or as I call them, the Gargoyles, and the Pirates, who are a joke anyway. They haven't done anything since 79. Or very little. Ugh. And let's see if I have one more thing.
9684 GS.
Oh boy, with about a minute
2 minutes ago.
Just under 2 minutes to go. Okay. Start the party. The Warriors are back as champions.
Yep.
And you Boston fans out there, I'm sorry. All right, one more note here. Commanders coach Ron Rubo Rivera expressed optimism that there would be a deal to get the deal done without wide receiver Scary Terry McLaurin, and that the Commanders are not looking to trade him. He missed the first 2 days of the mandatory minicamp. He attended workouts early in the season, in the spring, but missed OTA sessions over the last few weeks. McLaurin's rookie contract expires at the end of the season, so they better get something done. He is seeking a new deal with line with other top receivers have received this offseason. Rivera had been talking with his reps over the past week, and that matter will be taken care of in a short amount of time. After trading for A.J. Brown on night one of the draft, the Eagles signed him to a 4-year, $25 million extension per season. The Titans drafted Brown around ahead of McLaurin in 2019. All right, so that's my notes here. We're kind of about a minute and a half to go. The Warriors up by 15. All right, Taylor, back to you.
All right, 90 seconds to go. Debbie Ort in the one of the Facebook groups, Detroit Tigers 4 times World Series champion Facebook group, commented, "Why didn't AJ Hinch, the Tigers manager, take Soto out with 2 outs?" It drove me nuts if Leland would have. Yeah, Soto just threw too many balls. Yes, he did. He didn't have it, but still, as a good manager, could see it. Yeah. AJ Hinch somehow left Soto in the game for some reason, but they could have. he could have brought in Will Vest to
sure.
try to close it out with the bases loaded and 2 out.
Yeah.
Gregory Soto's not that consistent. He's got 11 saves, but still, he just doesn't have that type of. Soto just doesn't have that type of swagger.
Yeah, I've noticed that
in a high level, especially in a high leverage situation like that. So, yeah, that's that's all I wanted to share with you, Lewis. Thanks very much again. Welcome back.
Thanks.
This has been the Rangers beat the Tigers 3-1. This has been the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast for June 16th, 2022. I'm Taylor Phillips, and on behalf of Louis Tenor. Follow the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Michigan_Truth. Like it on Facebook, like its Facebook page, and subscribe to its YouTube channel. Special, business shout-outs go to Cali Tickets. Call Mark Goldman at 877-225-8425 or visit CaliTickets.com. Northern Star Event Rentals. Get a hold of Heather Krzyzewski in Cadillac, Michigan at 231-884-8195 or like their Facebook page. They provide bounce houses, water slides, obstacle courses, large tents and small tents for open houses and business anniversaries and whatnot. Now, they are taking bookings for the season and also creative embroidery of Cadillac for the design of my Michigan Sports Truth Podcast logo on my T-shirt and on my long sleeve shirt. So for Louis Tenor, I'm Taylor Phillips. Ta-ta.
Good night.